Good day to everyone. I'm Dave Abrio, and my report is about behavioral public administration. What is behavioral public administration? Behavioral public administration is an interdisciplinary research field that studies public administration topics by connecting insights from public administration with psychology and the behavioral sciences more broadly. Potential uses. First, behavioral public administration tests and extends theories and concepts from psychology in political administrative settings. Second, it tests and extends the microfoundations of public administration theories and concepts. Third, behavioral public administration scholars develop new theories and concepts. Fourth, behavioral public administration can help in tackling practical public problems. Components in understanding underlying behavior and psychology of individuals and groups. First, the unit of analysis are individuals and groups of citizens, employees, and managers within the public sector. Second, it emphasizes the behavior and attitudes of these people. Third, most importantly, it integrates insights from psychology and the behavioral sciences into the study of public administration. Testing and extending psychological concepts and theories. A behavioral public administration approach has been used to analyze key psychological theories such as motivated reasoning and the theory of planned behavior. Example is choice overload hypothesis, which states that the provision of extensive choices may be seen as initially desirable, but proves to be unexpectedly demotivating in the end. An example here is the energy sector players like Petron, Shell, Meralco, Aboitiz Power, and many more. So the choice overload hypothesis suggests that when people are presented with too many options, they may become overwhelmed and have difficulty making decisions. This overload can lead to decision-making paralysis or dissatisfaction with the chosen option. Essentially, having too many choices can make it harder for individuals to make a decision and can even decrease their overall satisfaction with the chosen option. Another one is the presidential candidates of 2016. You have Binay Duterte, Grace Poe, Marojas, and Miriam Santiago, plus the other nuisance candidates. No? When there are too many presidential candidates, it can overwhelm voters and make it difficult for them to make informed decisions. This can lead to voter apathy, as some individuals may feel disengaged from the political process due to the sheer number of options. Additionally, it can fragment votes, potentially resulting in a less representative outcome or even a controversial winner who only garners a small percentage of the total vote. Moreover, excessive candidates can lead to a cluttered and chaotic campaign environment, making it challenging for candidates to effectively communicate their platforms and for voters to distinguish between them. Core public administration theories and concepts that have been studied using a behavioral public administration approach include accountability, representative bureaucracy, bureaucratic reputation, red tape, and discretion. Example of theories using BPA. Coercive isomorphism is the pressure on organizations from other actors on which the organization depends. An example of coercive isomorphism is ARTA or Anti-Red Tape Authority. If a government implements anti-red tape policies that mandate specific procedural or administrative changes across all organizations within a certain sector, this can create a coercive pressure for conformity. Despite the intention of reducing bureaucratic constraints, The uniformity imposed by these measures can lead to organizations adopting similar structures or practices simply to comply with the new regulations, rather than innovating or tailoring their operations to their unique needs. In this way, anti-red tape measures can inadvertently contribute to coercive isomorphism by imposing a new set of standardized practices on organizations within the affected sector. Mimetic isomorphism, a standard response to uncertainty. Public-private partnerships can indeed be an example of mimetic isomorphism, a concept from organizational theory that describes organizations imitating others they perceive as successful or legitimate. In the case of PPPs, when one government successfully implements a PPP for a specific project or service delivery, other governments may mimic this approach, even if they have different needs or circumstances. For example, if a city implements a successful PPP for the construction and management of a toll road, other cities may imitate this model for their own infrastructure projects, even if it may not be the most suitable approach for their specific context. This imitation occurs because the initial success of the PPP in one jurisdiction provides a model of legitimacy and success that others seek to replicate. However, mimetic isomorphism in PPPs can have drawbacks if organizations blindly adopt the model without considering its suitability for their unique circumstances. This can lead to inefficiencies, failures, or even negative outcomes if the PPP model is not well suited to the particular needs or characteristics of the organization or project. Therefore, while mimetic isomorphism can drive the adoption of PPPs, it's essential for organizations to carefully evaluate their options and adapt models to fit their specific context rather than blindly copying what others have done. Normative isomorphism happens when professionalization pressures ensure that organizations resemble each other. An example of normative isomorphism can be seen in the adoption of corporate social responsibility practices by organizations within the same industry. When one company within an industry adopts CSR or corporate social responsibility initiatives, such as environmental sustainability programs or fair labor practices, it can create a normative pressure for other companies within the industry to follow suit. Developing new theories and concepts. Exploring how psychological, sociological, behavioral principles can inform and improve public administration practices and outcomes. An example here is number one is move toward clients. Uh, One example is a teacher who will work even harder when faced with work pressure, as otherwise her students may suffer. In the short term, this may be good for the students, but in the longer term, she may burn out from regular overwork. Second is the move away from clients. An example is rationing. This can be done by denying access to public services, for instance, by stating the office is very busy today. Please return tomorrow. Next is, or rather, the last is move against clients. This can be done when public service workers rigidly follow rules or even become aggressive towards clients. Tackling practical public problems. An example is how to motivate public employees and managing diversity. It focuses on applying insights from behavioral science to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of public administration practices. When it comes to managing diversity among public employees, BPA can play a crucial role in promoting inclusion, reducing biases, and enhancing organizational performance. Future research in behavioral public administration. In the coming years, a behavioral public administration will hopefully continue to help in furthering scientific progress and tackle important societal issues, including reducing administrative burden for citizens. That's all for my report. Thank you very much and God bless.